Friday Night Showdown recap starts now.
Yeah, it starts now. Welcome into the Friday Night Showdown recap show. It's week 2. We have shaken off the rust. It's the second week of high school football. That's officially in the books. We've got plenty of action for you here tonight, but we start with our game of the week over at Mount Zion. Action galore, and we start right at the beginning, and it's Kelly Stocks, and he's going to sling it deep to who else but Jacob Harvey. The 4.4 speed on full display. He's in for the long Braves touchdown. And Rochester response up the middle, and it's going to be Tanner Beal. He keeps it himself and scores. Tie game. Rochester in front. Stocks again looking and again finds Harvey in open space, gets a lane, and he's got another touchdown here in prime time. And if you look to the left sideline, you will see Jacob Harvey once again breaking free, catching a seed from Stocks and scoring 3 times the charm. But Caden Stout, the response for Rochester, he gets the give and punches it in. A long touchdown there for the Rockets as they come back and win 28-24 in a potential playoff preview.
All right, well, one more thing for you guys before you hit the road. There you go. Enjoy the win.
The Rochester Rockets get the SEPQ Friday Night Showdown Champions Trophy. Congratulations, 28-24 victory.
Love me a trophy presentation. We then head over to Glenwood. Titans beating Edwardsburg last week. Their home opener tonight against North County. Knadler takes the snap, fakes to Muller, and rolls. He finds Henry Rose, and Rose gets to the goal line and scores. Next Titan chance is quickly to the red zone for them, and it's going to be Knadler. He rolls once again. This time looks to the back of the end zone, but he is going to be picked off. It's Brady Duncan with the takeaway for North County. Very next play, pitch to Jesse Johnson is read like a Shakespeare classic. Blown up in the backfield, fumble forced. Titan ball, and they wouldn't waste the chance. Knadler shoveled to Hayden Kirk, and Kirk is in to score. Titans rolled the final 48-0. Then over to Central A&M, a statement win for them in week 1. They took on Shelbyville at home as well. And it's Emmett Stenger. He gives to Victor Ravello, and he gets around the end, and he finds the end zone there for the Raiders. Stenger again, this time gives to Kwame Calhoun, who finds a little bit of space, breaks free, a couple tackles, slipping free, gets to the edge, and nearly scores. Other way, though, it's Shelbyville and Austin Ulmer. He lets this one go to the corner of the end zone. It has his man, Jaden Weiss, for the score. Back to the Raiders, and it's Stenger again. Tough pass, but in traffic, a terrific catch from Seitz for a nice gain. But it's Shelbyville who gets the win, final 34-20. And right into the action over at Warrensburg Latham, the host getting into the Clinton backfield, and we've got a fumble. Jordan Branson for the Cardinals. He comes away with it, a takeaway, and they pay it off right away. Bonds, he takes it, makes a move, and he's quick to the pylon and scores there for the Cardinals. He's fired up, and he would be again. Keaton Graves, he slings it for Clinton looking deep, but it's Bonds on the other end with the interceptions. Cardinals, though, they come back and give one of their own. Luther Fitch, the takeaway. But final score, it's all Warrensburg, final 49-12. And coming up in sports, well, we have more action. This time out by Champaign. Our Carson Gordy, he will break down a few more games coming from that side in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. And welcome back to our Friday Night Showdown recap show. One set of games down. I'll take a quick personal break, send things over to Carson Gordy, who has you covered on all the action from the east side of our coverage area. Carson, take it away.
Happy Friday night, everybody. It's Carson Gordy, and our team, we were all over Central Illinois, getting highlights of the top high school games in the region. Let's start off with some pretty fun Central Illinois rivalries. The last time Unity and Monticello played each other, the Sages knocked them off and booked a spot to the state title game. So it's safe to say that the Rockets wanted some revenge. First drive, Dane Eisenmeger surveys the field, and always nice to have a friend like Trey Hogard. Cuts through the secondary for an easy touchdown, 6-0. Monticello's Nolan Benny-Kemper tries to get the Sages back in the game with a nice throw. But a fumble just a couple plays later turned the tide for good. Unity would go from their air raid to shoving it down the pipe. The bulldozing crew Eckstein gets a couple quick scores. Unity gets a big win and a little bit of revenge over their rival Monticello. And jumping over to the Mohammed Seymour, they're trying to bounce back from that 0-1 start and get that high-powered offense rolling. But Morris said, no thank you. Running a wishbone offense just like Army and Navy. Morris running out the clock and keeping that Bulldog offense sidelined. They would eventually go up 20-7 with a touchdown. Scary moment for the Bulldogs. This looked like a big man pick six. But the refs, they would meet up, they would talk, and they would say, no good. Defensive holding. So they survive right there, and Ryan Pruitt tries to get the Dogs barking back with his legs. But next play, they're trying to get momentum, make it a one-score game before halftime, takes a costly sack, and Morris would pull away for a dominating victory. And so over to the next game, Paxton Buckley Loda taking on St. Joseph Ogden. These are two programs that are really good and both made the playoffs last year. The Panthers trying to get their offense clicking in the early ends, but just didn't have enough muster taking on a Spartan team that won 11 games last year. Cody McKinney hands it off for an easy jet sweep. Spartans take a big lead, and then Cody McKinney scrambles for another first down. They would win by over 3 touchdowns and improve to 2-0. And we have a crosstown battle in Champaign with Centennial taking on Central. Both teams 0-1 looking for that big win. Central's Mark Johnson surveys the field and finds a big man and able to get a lot of yards. You know, the Maroons, they put up 41 points last week against Springfield in a close loss, but the offense just couldn't click today. Huge interception right there by Centennial to end a drive. Centennial would hold on by a baseball score, 8-6. And they just beat Maroons for another consecutive year in this historic rivalry. Well, I'm Carson Gordy. Thank you for watching. What a fun day of football. Take care.
And coming up, we have, well, more football with a side of more football. Springfield High, Williamsville, Maroa, and more. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Now, welcome back into the Friday Night Showdown recap show. It's week 2, and we are 2 sets of games down here in the post-game show, and we've got one more set of games, 4 games to get through. Let's start here in Springfield over at Memorial with the Senators. Springfield High taking on MacArthur. Senators and Generals coming off impressive week 1 wins, and coming out of the half, it was the Generals setting the tone. MacArthur quarterback going to keep it himself, breaks multiple tackles, and he's going to get inside the 5 to set up a golden opportunity, well, for himself. He's going to keep it himself, go right up the gut, and the Generals, they take the early lead in the second half. But Brody Scheffler in Springfield High not going anywhere. Scheffler over the top, and he's got his man Cale Thorman. What a grab and what a dot. Then who else but Armand Lewis, bumbling and stumbling in for 6. And first MacArthur play, next possession, botching the snap. It's on the ground in Springfield High, a massive takeaway. And my highlight of the night, Scheffler gives to Brown, to Thurman, back to Scheffler, and the senior gunslinger finds Brown walking into the end zone. Wow. But MacArthur, they take a 1-point dub, final 43-42. And Williamsville is our next stop as the Bullets have their home opener against Porta AC. Jackson Sanders, he gets a nice pocket as he surveys the field and finds Caden Whistle deep down the field for a huge gain, and they are inside the red zone. The pass game was strong again. Jackson Sanders, he finds Cole Grossenheider in the middle, and he laterals it to Dalton Root, who's able to take it all the way to the house for yet another score. The Bullets continuing to fire on all cylinders. Sanders to Grossenheider again for an amazing touchdown catch for Williamsville. What a play as the Bullets dominant once again. They win big, final 45-8. And the Athens Warriors, they take on Pittsfield for this week 2 matchup. It's a close game in the first. Pittsfield storming down the field. Here's Cody Anderson. He finds Bodie Marbley, who breaks a tackle, and he's going to score with less than 2 seconds in the half. A big-time play there for the Saukees. Athens trying to grab a little momentum back here in the second half. They hand it off to Gage Hahn, who takes a long run right through the middle into Pittsfield territory. And again, deep in their territory, Athens hand off to Gage Hahn, who stumbles his way into the end zone for the score. As Athens, they end up really blowing this one up, 42-19, a big second half performance. And from Athens to Maroa Forsyth is the Trojans. They're taking on Pleasant Plains, a big Friday night showdown win in week 1 for them. But the give to Pulliam for Maroa Forsyth, he works his way around the end for the Trojans. 6. And Cardinals counterpunch in the form of Grady Grisham. That man can move, and he gets free, catches it in stride, off to the races, in for the big-time Pleasant Plains score. But it's D'Angelo Owen. He brings this one back in another version of the rumbling, bumbling, and stumbling, this time in the open field, making everybody miss, breaking all the tackles, and he's going to get all the way in for yet another Trojan touchdown. They really found a way to blow this one up a bit later in it. Final score, 68-21, Maroa Forsyth. And welcome back one last time for our Friday Night Showdown recap show, week 2 edition. We're almost done, but we still have a little bit to cover. First plays of the night, and finally our next week should say 2 weeks from now, game of the week. And my play of the night, some tough competition, but it has to go to Springfield High. Scheffler give to DeAndre Brown, Brown to Thurman, Thurman back to Scheffler, and Scheffler the gunslinger. Oh my, what a great play, and he finds down. Big time touchdown. Unfortunately, they end up losing this one. And a key interception here from Centennial that helped preserve a shutdown play. Centennial, they took a 8-6 win in this one, with this big interception being key to that one. And in 2 weeks, it's Sacred Heart Griffin taking on Quincy Notre Dame, a big time matchup on Friday Night Showdown Week 4. But for now, that does it for us, and I'll hand things over to Jimmy Kimmel.